I'm pleased to welcome undergraduates, fraternity alumni, and family and friends of this year's award candidates to the Phi Delta Theta Canadian Foundation's 2023-24 Awards Announcement event. I'm Rob McInnes, the chairman of the Canadian Foundation, and I'm proud to represent a board of directors of 15 alumni representing 11 of Phi Delta Theta's Canadian chapters from coast to coast. 2024 marks a significant milestone for the Canadian Foundation as we celebrate 50 years since the founding of the Foundation in 1974. Over the past 5 decades, we have recognized almost 400 undergraduates who attend a Canadian university where Phi Delta Theta has a chapter with academic and leadership scholarships. Since 1974, the Canadian Foundation has awarded $474,000, all thanks to over 1,300 individual Phi Delta alumni who have made donations over the past 50 years. We continue to be grateful to the many alumni who contribute to support the Foundation. These donations allow us to recognize outstanding academic and leadership excellence among Canadian undergraduates. In addition to granting scholarships, the Foundation also helps to defray travel-related costs to those attending the annual Kleberg Leadership College each summer in Oxford. This year, we've allocated $500 to each chapter to help ensure that our emerging leaders can attend this event. Today, we're granting $35,000 to 17 undergraduates from 9 Canadian universities. Later on, you're going to meet each of our directors who will be announcing this year's winners. But it's more than just alumni who donate to the Canadian Foundation. Undergraduates and Canadian Phi Delt chapters also support the Foundation through participating in Phi Delta Theta's Iron Phi program. A portion of every donation is allocated to the Canadian Foundation, and we're grateful to this amazing initiative for helping to recognize the good work of the Canadian Foundation. I also want to recognize the extraordinary commitment made by 3 Canadian Foundation directors who have completed their terms on our board this year. Chris Thompson of Ontario Gamma, David Wood of Ontario Beta, and Ken Ransby of Manitoba Alpha. Ken's extraordinary efforts in establishing the Manitoba Alpha Dedicated Fund under the auspices of the Canadian Foundation has been truly remarkable. Having raised over $300,000, Ken's generosity to the Foundation has been inspirational, and we look forward to his continuing support in the years ahead. This year, the board is pleased to welcome 5 new directors: Justin Rietzma with Manitoba Alpha, Milan Vias, Ontario Gamma, Sean Galloway, Ontario Beta, Norm Paquette, Ontario Epsilon, and Devin Mahesh, Ontario Delta. For the first time in our Foundation's history, we have board representation from our York and Carleton chapters. These new directors will help us fulfill our mandate and raise awareness of the Foundation's good work among alumni and undergraduates alike. You can learn more about each of our directors, our awards history, and our current initiatives at phi-delta-theta.ca. At this point, I want to introduce Sean Wagner, the Executive Vice President of the General Fraternity and President of the U.S. Foundation. Sean and the entire GHQ staff, not to mention the 5 members of the General Council and our 3 Canadian province presidents, Gopal Ayer, Mike Njevik, and Phil Cantrell, our chapter advisory boards and house corporations, all work tirelessly to support each of our chapters. I'm especially proud to see Sean and his team support our Canadian chapters. They recognize that our Canadian chapters experience unique challenges that our U.S. chapters do not. I continue to be grateful to the General Fraternity for honoring and supporting the distinctive role that our Canadian chapters play in making Phi Delta Theta the world's preeminent international fraternity. Brother Wagner, over to you.
It's great to be here to celebrate the tremendous impact the Canadian Foundation has on our brotherhood. I'm entering my 22nd year as a member of the General Headquarters staff. I actually began that career in Canada just days after starting here in Oxford. Had the pleasure of being at the Royal York Hotel for a 10th centennial celebration of the 2002 convention, and still have fond memories of really understanding what incredible pride and dedication our Canadian brothers have to us being an international organization. And all of those are all mostly positive, although I have to say we did get stuck in Detroit on the way back from convention. Also, loved my very first chapter visit, period, was at Nova Scotia Alpha when I learned in August what a beautiful place Halifax was, but then also after a number of other visits came back in January, I realized what a cold place it can be. But overall, really just happy to be here to celebrate the Canadian Foundation, to celebrate our trustees, to celebrate our scholarship recipients on our 175th year. And our 175th year is incredibly meaningful because it's a time when we've never been in a better place. It's a time when we've celebrated tremendous accomplishments thanks to the success of our predecessors. Really stand on the shoulders of giants for the vision that they created in 2011 for us to become the premier fraternal leadership society in 2020. And we achieved that mission. We grew to heights we've never been before, with the largest average chapter size within the industry, with having more members than we've ever had, and a higher quality of member than we've ever had. Additionally, we engaged members as alumni more so than we ever did before, both as volunteers as well as donors, both for the US and the Canadian Foundation. And so by all accounts, by all measures, the fraternity was and is at its peak. However, as we look to the future and we think about where we want to be in 2030, we think about how we want to instill value at a time when society questions what fraternities are, and they also question what higher education is. And so when we cast out for our next strategic plan for 2030, we really wanted to make sure that we weren't just recognizing ourselves, but we wanted others to recognize us as the premier fraternal leadership society. So that cast a whole new plan that the Canadian Foundation supports through its efforts and our members. First and foremost, I would say that's adding value to our members to be able to articulate their experience to the outside world. The fraternity has always lifted people up. It's always helped them meet their full potential. It's always helped them become the greatest versions of themselves through the leadership laboratory that is the chapter experience. But we've been so very proud to be able to develop programs that credential being a Phi Chi. They credential being a chapter officer so that you can take those types of experiences, put them on your resume, put them on your LinkedIn profile, and actually tell people what fraternity leadership means. Additionally, we've created a course that can be provided as credits towards the pursuit of somebody's college degree. Again, articulating that value and really providing something meaningful, not just in terms of what happened, but illustrating how it happened for our members. We also love and believe that the fraternity is an in-person social experience and our leadership should happen in person. So we have 1,000 people every summer here at our Clayburgh Emerging Leaders Institute. We're so very happy that the Canadian Foundation has sponsored so many brothers to attend. I love seeing the social media posts as our Canadian brothers make the pilgrimage to Oxford and they visit the US and a lot of other chapters in between. And so it's important to articulate that value internally to our members, but it's more importantly to articulate that value externally so that we can receive that recognition from those that are close to us within our communities, but those that also might be skeptical of our experience. Hazing is a societal issue, and certainly Phi Delta Theta has had challenges in the past, but it is something that is well beyond the walls of Phi Delta Theta. We lost Max Gruber September 14th, 2017. And we took an inner look at ourselves to figure out what we could be doing, not just within Phi Delta Theta, but also outside and from a societal perspective. And that's why we partnered with Max's group parents, Brian and Steve, to help them educate members of Phi Delta Theta about what hazing is, but also acknowledging that hazing occurs in half of all high school students, in bands, in other student organizations, in athletics. And so creating a program that the Groovers put on in conjunction with our chapters for peer-to-peer education called Stop Hazing, Take Action, that allows high school students to be able to identify what hazing is, to stop it, and replace it with other activities. And so now we're taking that largely to the Southeast, but again, are expanding that program, and we hope to have it in Canadian provinces. Another thing that we're trying to do that both helps our members, but also makes an impact on the challenges and the cost of higher education is that of scholarships. Again, the Canadian Foundation is doing a great job with this. The U.S. Foundation, through the support of its alums, has the second largest endowment in the entire fraternity industry. And we gave out more scholarships than any other fraternity this past year, over $600,000. Very proud that 5 of those scholarships went to Canadian members. 1 went to a Canadian member pursuing their graduate coursework in the form of a fellowship. We're also very proud that we're taking on the support of first-generation college students. We've got this great experience that is foreign to first-generation college students. And so we want to bring them in the experience and to have the fraternity experience lift them up, and we don't want any sort of barrier to prevent them from joining. And for that reason, we've done $250,000 in first-generation scholarships for 3 straight years. Throughout that program, we've had 20 Canadian first-generation college student recipients, and this year 6 alone. And what that means is, if you're a first-generation college student joining Phi Delta Theta for the first year, and you have a household income of under $100,000, you've received at least $1,400 from us. So very proud of that work. That combined that work and the work of the Canadian Foundation really does impact the financial livelihoods of our members and their families. Speaking of families, we've been very, very proud to support ALS families and when they battle this terrible disease. The Iron 5 program has been one that has built great awareness as well as support for the fight against ALS. This program has been really, really embraced by our Canadian brothers. Very proud that we've raised over $110,000 from our Canadian chapter since inception of the program, and that we've had 50 Canadian Iron 5s. And not just from a philanthropic standpoint, but we also, through our Live Like Blue program, provide actual support of families. ALS is a terrible disease, excuse me, the terrible disease that really impacts somebody's ability to live their life and to maintain their home. And so for that reason, we actually have our chapters go into homes and help support them. And we've had half of our Canadian chapters actually adopt a family and ensure that that they are taken care of through their terrible disease. And so I share all this in the context of the good work that the Canadian Foundation does, because it helps us as an organization overall transform where we want to be, how we're perceived, and most importantly, the lives of our brothers. And so I thank you for the work that you're doing. I congratulate the brothers who are receiving scholarships tonight, and I'm so very proud to be a Phi.
Sean, thanks for joining us at this year's award announcement event. The Canadian Foundation looks forward to working with the GHQ staff and the U.S. Foundation in the year ahead. Without further ado, it's time to announce the winners of the 2023-24 Canadian Foundation Awards. Today's first 2 awards will be announced by Justin Reitzma, our newly elected director from Manitoba Alpha in Winnipeg.
In 2018, several alumni of Manitoba Alpha at the University of Manitoba established a dedicated fund of the Canadian Foundation. Thanks to exceptional generosity of alumni, active brothers, and friends of the chapter, we've raised more than $300,000, allowing us to make awards to deserving candidates every year since. This year, I'm proud to announce that we have 2 award winners from the University of Manitoba, Pedro Gascon and Rayet Zaman Rahman. Pedro is a 5th-year student at the University of Manitoba, majoring in honors mathematics with a minor in computer science. He has served his chapter as president and treasurer while maintaining a GPA of 3.47. A lifelong learner and researcher, Pedro's goals is to delve into the subject of natural numbers and answer those deep questions related to them, all the while helping others access those answers. He's continually involved in research projects and has co-authored a paper that will soon be published. We are delighted to recognize Pedro as the Manitoba Alpha Leadership Award winner in the amount of $3,500. Congratulations. Rayet is a 1st-year student at the University of Manitoba studying science with a GPA of 3.48. In his short time with the chapter, he has acted as Phi Chi Educator Chair, Brotherhood Co-Chair, and members of the recruitment and housing committees. He's also been very active as a volunteer in several community organizations in Winnipeg and his hometown in Thunder Bay, Ontario. Riot will be receiving a Manitoba Alpha Leadership Award totaling $2,500. Congratulations.
Hi, I'm Jeff Fox, an alumnus of Nova Scotia Alpha at Dalhousie University in Halifax. The next series of awards are for the Academic Pathway. Our first Academic Pathway Award winner is Ariman Pandey. Ariman is a second-year computer science student at Dalhousie University. He boasts a 3.91 GPA and was on the 2023 Dean's List. He has acted as Treasurer, Awards Chair, and Assistant Recruitment Chair at Nova Scotia Alpha. He is also a teaching assistant while volunteering at the Dalhousie Space Society, Shift Key Labs, and is a student library assistant. The Canadian Foundation is proud to recognize Ariman with an award in the Academic Pathway in the amount of $3,000. Congratulations.
I'm Kirby Sangera in Vancouver. I'm the Foundation's board representative for British Columbia Alpha. Our next award winner is Ryan Baker. Ryan is a second-year mechanical engineering student at the University of British Columbia and boasts a 3.6 GPA. He made the Dean's List in 2022. He has acted as scholarship chair and member at large for British Columbia Alpha. He has leveraged his experience and love for the game of hockey to support several community fundraising initiatives. His future goal is to make a positive impact on sustainability practices in renewable energy technologies. We are delighted to recognize Ryan with a $2,000 award in the Academic Pathway. Congratulations.
Good day. My name is Jean-Michel Blais. I'm an alumnus of Quebec Alpha, where we have our McGill chapter. I'm pleased to announce that our next winner is Elliot Miville Deschênes. Elliot is a third-year international development student at McGill University who boasts a 3.74 cumulative GPA. He's also studied internationally through exchange programs in Barbados and Italy. He has acted as Quebec Alpha's scholarship chair, recruitment chair, and warden. He has been active on campus as a sustainability development officer and in the broader community as a fundraiser. We are happy to recognize Elliot with an award in the Academic Pathway in the amount of $2,000. Félicitations.
Hello, I'm Neil Park from Ontario Alpha at the University of Toronto, and I'm also the Foundation's treasurer. Our next winner is Bodhi Ellis Kusi. Bodhi is a fourth-year management student at the University of British Columbia, Okanagan. He boasts a 3.57 cumulative GPA and was on the 2021 Dean's List. He has been British Columbia Gamma's chaplain and was recently recognized as the chapter's most improved scholar. He is involved with the university's finance club and looks to start his own landscaping business following graduation. The Canadian Foundation recognizes Bodhi with a $1,000 award in the Academic Pathway. Congratulations.
I'm Mark Ballantyne, representing the Foundation's Alberta Alpha chapter in Edmonton. I also serve on the Foundation's Board of Directors as the chairman of our Marketing and Communications Committee. Our next winner is Michael Green. Michael is a third-year education student at the University of Alberta. He boasts a 3.47 cumulative GPA and was on the 2022 Dean's List. He recently received his faculty's inaugural Certificate of Excellence Award. At Alberta Alpha, he has been in charge of Phi Chi education and acted as the Iron Phi Chair, as well as the Senior Judicial Committee member, while being involved in the Student Union and assisting in chapter fundraising. Michael is being recognized with an award in the Academic Pathway in the amount of $1,000. Congratulations.
Good day, I'm Sean Galloway, a newly elected director representing the alumni from Ontario Beta at the University of Western Ontario. Our final winner in the Academic Pathway is Noah Tedesco. Noah is a third-year business student studying honors accounting at McMaster University. He boasts a 3.5 cumulative GPA and was on the 2023 Dean's List. Noah has acted as Ontario Gamma's Risk Management Chair and Outreach Chair, while also being a McMaster Exchange Ambassador. He's involved with the McMaster Musical Theatre Club and has participated in fundraising and blood drives. We're delighted to recognize Noah with a $1,000 award in the Academic Pathway, Congratulations, Noah.
Hi, I'm Mike Brady, the Foundation's Corporate Secretary. I'm an alumnus of Nova Scotia Alpha at Dalhousie University, and I'm pleased to kick off the next series of awards, the Leadership Pathway. Our first Leadership Pathway Award winner is Talakar Wazi Alavi. Talakar is a fourth-year student at Dalhousie University, double majoring in honors statistics, economics, and computer science. He has served as the Nova Scotia Alpha Treasurer and Scholarship and Risk Management Chairs. He has maintained an impressive cumulative GPA of 3.66 while balancing many commitments across school, work, residence life, work in the community, and extracurricular activities. This summer, he will be working to assist a local laboratory in promoting sustainable animal practices enabled by digital technologies. Talakar is deserving of an award from the Canadian Foundation in the Leadership Pathway in the amount of $3,000. Congratulations.
My name is Bruno Pietrobon, representing the McGill chapter, Quebec Alpha in Montreal. Our next winner is Dylan Klatt. Dylan is in his fourth year at the University of British Columbia, Okanagan, double majoring in medical and molecular biology with a minor in physics. He boasts a current GPA of 3.2. He has held the positions of Vice President, Communications, Secretary, and Paraphernalia Chair in addition to being a founding father of British Columbia Gamma. For the past 3 years, he has been involved extensively in the University of British Columbia Okanagan Emergency First Response Team as a senior responder, providing over 1,200 hours of first aid care on campus and at events. Dylan will be granted an award in the Leadership Pathway of $2,000. Congratulations, Dylan.
Hello again. Our next Leadership Pathway winner is Noah Leeson. Noah is a fourth-year biology student at the University of British Columbia. He boasts a current GPA of 3.0 and has held the positions of Vice President, Risk Management Chair, and Philanthropy Community Service Chair at British Columbia Alpha. He is also engaged in campus philanthropy as the Vice President of the UBC Make-A-Wish Foundation, helping to start the organization and to lead its first major fundraiser. The Canadian Foundation is granting Noah with an award in the academic pathway totaling $1,000. Congratulations, Noah.
I'm Christy Glanica, an alumnus from the Alberta Alpha chapter in Edmonton. I also serve the Foundation as chairman of the awards committee. Our next winner is Jared Chevalier. Jared is a fourth-year business student majoring in operations management and minoring in economics at the University of Alberta in Edmonton. Jared currently boasts a 3.55 cumulative GPA. During his fraternity career at Alberta Alpha, Jared has held the positions of President, Treasurer, Communications Secretary, Alumni Secretary, Risk Management Chair, and House Manager. Jared has been recognized with a $1,000 award in the Leadership Pathway. Congratulations, Jared.
My name is Norm Paquette, and I'm pleased to join the board this year representing the Ontario Epsilon chapter in Ottawa. Our next winner in the Leadership Pathway is Lucas DeBello. Lucas is a third-year Honors Communication and Media Studies student at York University. He has a 3.31 cumulative GPA and has occupied the positions of Social Chair, Recruitment Chair, and Community Service Chair at Ontario Delta. He has demonstrated significant leadership in several community and university organizations, including the Live Like Lou Foundation, the York U Federation of Students, and the Wings for Life World Run. We're delighted to recognize Lucas with an award in the Leadership Pathway of $2,000. Congratulations, Lucas.
Hi, I'm John T. Harris, an alumnus of Ontario Alpha at the University of Toronto. I'm also chairman of the Foundation Investment Committee. I'm pleased to return to announce that our final winner in Leadership Pathway is Sinan Ali. Sinan is a third-year finance and economics student at the University of Toronto. He has a cumulative 3.25 GPA and has occupied the positions of President, Warden, and Alumni Secretary at Ontario Alpha. He hopes to eventually complete his master's degree and one day become a Canadian citizen. We are pleased to recognize Sinan with an award in the Leadership Pathway in the amount of $500. Congratulations.
At this point in our awards presentation, I want to introduce two people who will present the John McCracken Ontario Alpha Leadership Award. Robin Wilson is an alumnus of Ontario Alpha at the University of Toronto, who was a contemporary of Brother McCracken when they were both undergraduates at U of T, and who became a generous donor to the foundation to honor his late fraternity brother's leadership in the chapter. I'm also pleased to welcome John McCracken's son, Spencer. While not a Phi, Spencer has agreed to share with us a little bit about his dad. Let's hear first from Brother Wilson.
Hi there. My name is Dr. Robin Wilson, and I'm bond number 766 of the Ontario Alpha chapter. I'd like to take a couple of moments to speak with you about the Canadian Scholarship Foundation and about the John McCracken Leadership Award. I was rushed into Phi Delta Theta in September of 1981, and I think first set foot on the property at 165 St. George Street, somewhere in the middle to latter part of that month. I don't remember a lot about that day, but I do remember meeting John McCracken. John McCracken had this sort of infectious personality that was hard to ignore. In fact, he wouldn't have allowed that to happen anyway. John was the kind of guy who, upon first meeting you, wanted to know everything about you. He was genuinely interested. He wanted to know what was your favorite song, what was your favorite movie, what were you studying in school, where did you see yourself going in the future. Honestly, by the end of the time you were speaking with him, you'd swear he was your best friend. John was my best friend, but he had a lot of best friends, and we never felt like we were two-timed. John was the sort of person who everybody loved, and there was a good reason for that. At every Founders Day that John attended, he would speak to every single person. He would genuinely want to know what was going on with them. And this was particularly true of the active members, and especially the Phi Chi. He wanted to know what they were studying. He wanted to know what their future plans were, what grand schemes they had for the world. John left us far too young, and when he did, I didn't want his memory to be lost. I didn't want the sort of person he was to be forgotten. So I got together with the Scholarship Foundation, and we put together the John McCracken Leadership Award, which goes to the fellow each year who best embodies John's spirit. And I've been happy to fund this, and I really encourage the rest of you to get involved with the Scholarship Foundation. These young fellas need us, and if you ever wanted to be proud to be a Phi, that's a great way to do it. Thanks for your time.
Hello, my name is Spencer McCracken, son of John McCracken. I wanted to spend some time to show how leadership and this fraternity were such big impacts in my dad's life. My dad was someone that lit up any room he walked in. He passed away almost 11 years ago, but still to this day, any of my friends, family, or even a plumber I've never met instantly share stories about how his joy impacted their lives. My dad was someone that never just sat idle when a chance came up for him to make a difference. I suffer from a fairly severe case of asthma, and in the 2nd to 6th grade of my elementary school, I was expected to stay in a very old portables. Most would help their son get more drugs, or even change schools, but not my dad. He spent the next months fighting and building an army, and within 1 year, all portables were removed and an extension was added to the school. A plaque still stands representing the work my dad put in to make the school better for not just myself, but all kids. My grandma's favorite story was during a fraternity Buffalo Bills game. My dad had met a homeless gentleman, and like he did his whole life, had to befriend him, because giving some change was never enough. After a long talk, he decided to invite the gentleman to come to dinner with him, promptly calling my grandmother after to let her know that he invited him to come and stay. This may have never ended up happening, but it definitely shows that no person on this planet was someone that my dad would not want to meet and learn their story. My dad was someone who never said no to any journey or experience. While that may have gotten him in trouble from time to time, it was that quality that made him such a leader. You don't fear the outcome, you enjoy the moment. Whatever the outcome is, embrace it and learn. In conclusion, my dad would never miss an event with this fraternity because it truly was the best years of his life. The fact that there is an award given in his honor is something that I truly know would be one of his biggest accomplishments in life. He may not be here to hand out this award, but I know his memory lives on in each person that strives to achieve this award every year. Each year, the John McCracken Ontario Alpha Leadership Award is awarded to the top undergraduate who attending the University of Toronto, who demonstrates exceptional leadership qualities. This year, we are delighted to present the John McCracken Award to Cameron Banks. Cameron Banks is a third-year finance and economics student at the University of Toronto. He has an impressive cumulative GPA of 3.96 and was on the 2023 Dean's List. He has occupied the positions of Ontario Alpha's Treasurer, FICAEA Education Chair, and Social Chair. Also active in the broader campus community, Cameron is the Director of Professional Development for a large financial technology group and competes in business case competitions while also being a member of his school's debate and investment banking clubs. Upon graduation, Cameron hopes to obtain his Certified Financial Analyst designation and then pursue a master's degree in qualitative finance. I am delighted to recognize Cameron with the John McCracken Award in the amount of $3,000. Congratulations.
Hi, I'm Devin Mahesh, the newly elected director representing the Ontario Delta chapter at York University in Toronto. Since 1996, the Phi Delta Theta Canadian Foundation has awarded the J. Fred Green Award to the top academic scholarship recipient across the country. This award is named in honor and recognizes the contributions of Brother Green, who was initiated into the Ontario Alpha chapter at the University of Toronto on November 15, 1926. He had a lifetime of contributions to the fraternity as a chapter advisor, alumni club secretary, province president, and most relevant to us, was one of the founders of the Canadian Foundation back in 1974. Although Brother Green entered the chapter grand in 2004, his legacy lives on in the Canadian Foundation's top academic award. This year, we are pleased to present the J. Fred Green Award to Hoshner Tavadia. Hoshner is a fourth-year engineering student majoring in honors software development and minoring in business at York University. He has a cumulative 3.8 GPA and was on the 2021 Dean's List. At the Ontario Delta chapter, he has held the positions of President, Vice President, Risk Management Chair, and Scholarship Chair. He is actively involved in his campus community as a youth coordinator with the Zoroastrian Society of Ontario and was involved in the raising of $35,000 for the 8th World Congress, all the while he was president of the chapter. His medium-term goal is to establish his own technology startup company. The Canadian Foundation recognizes Hoshner with the Premier Award in Academic Excellence. This year's J. Fred Green Award will be receiving an award of $3,250. Congratulations, Hoshner.
I'm Milan Vyas, an alumnus of the Ontario Gamma chapter at McMaster University in Hamilton, and I'm pleased to announce our final award recipient today. For the first time last year, we awarded the D. Grant Laurie Leadership Award to the top leadership award recipient across the country. This award is named in recognition of Brother Laurie, who was initiated into the Ontario Alpha chapter at the University of Toronto on November 30th, 1966. Grant has enjoyed a long association with the fraternity in a volunteer capacity. He was the Alpha North Province President from 1984 to 1989, and an Ontario Alpha House Corporation member from 2016 to 17. His deepest involvement in Phi Delta Theta has been as director of the Canadian Foundation, where he served as its chairman for many years until stepping down in 2022. We are honored to recognize Grant's long-standing contributions and leadership to the Foundation and award its third ever winner, Valika William Chen of the Ontario Gamma chapter at McMaster University. Valika is a fourth-year biology student with a 3.8 cumulative GPA. He has demonstrated significant leadership by occupying many positions in his chapters such as President, Vice President, Treasurer, Communications/Secretary, and Social Chair. On campus, he has been the president of both the McMaster Science Society and the McMaster ALS Society. Off campus, his community involvement has been as a fundraiser and participant in several initiatives, including the Million Reasons Run, Mission Services Hamilton, and Live Like Lou. Velika is recognized as this year's D. Grant Laurie Leadership Award winner, the second year in which we have awarded this honor, recognizing the Canadian Foundation's outstanding leadership recipient. He will be receiving $3,250. Congratulations.
Well, that concludes the 2023-24 Canadian Foundation Awards announcements. On behalf of the entire board of the Foundation, congratulations once again to each of our 17 leadership and academic award winners who take home a combined $35,000 this year. These awards would not be possible without the generous donations we receive each year from the many dozens of Phi Delt alumni from every Canadian chapter. Thank you for demonstrating that Phi Delta Theta truly is a fraternity for life. And to our undergraduates tuning in today, I hope that our awards announcements encourage you to consider applying for an award next year. We are keen to recognize undergraduates attending a Canadian university where Phi Delta Theta has a chapter through their leadership and involvement on campus and in the community, not to mention their excellence in academics. To learn more or to make a donation to the Canadian Foundation, please visit phideltatheta.ca. Thanks again for joining us. Proud to be a Phi.